Alright, so let's start by opening up just a web browser, so Chrome. Just a little review here. So notice that I have a purple J, so if I click, I know I'm in my NWU account. And then we want to open up our drive, so we'll go to the app launcher, and we'll go to drive. And then from here, you'll open up the website you created last time. So again, go to the app launcher, then click sites. Okay, I'm going to open up two websites. I'm going to open up my original one for this class. And then I'm also going to open my dummy one that I'm going to use to show you stuff. So that's why I'll have two open. Alright, just a quick little, review for my website again. So if I go to my website, we're in class materials summer. We're in week 1. So this is Thursday. So we'll be talking about two things, inserting gadgets and tools. Then we'll construct a website. Okay, we'll actually construct your teacher website. But we'll go over what makes a good website and what makes a bad website. Okay, so first thing, we're going to do gadgets. So how to insert gadgets. So from last class, we created 3 pages. We had an announcement page, a file cabinet page, and a web page, which I deleted. Before we actually start, let's go to my website, and I'll show you your actual first assignment is going to be insert challenge. Okay, so if I pull that up, let's just look at it. Okay, so I'm going to want you to create a web page, and I'm going to want you to call it Gadget Inserts. And then I'm going to want you to insert all the stuff that I just talked about, or I will be talking about. My advice here is follow along while I do this, and you'll have the first assignment complete. So we need to create a web page, right? We need to call it Gadget Inserts. So we'll go to the page with a plus sign, create a page. We'll call it Gadget Inserts. And then this will be a web page, right? I had the 4 choices. I don't want it to be an announcement or a file cabinet or list. I want a web page. And I'm going to put it just at the top level. And then I'm going to create. Okay, so now I have a nice web page. Right? And I have the Gadget Inserts. Before I start doing anything, let's add this to our sidebar. So I'm going to hit save. Right? And remember to add things to our sidebar, we go to the gear, we go to edit site layout. Then I want a whole new bar. So if you look at the challenge, let's go back to the challenge. Right? Once I do all this, the bottom here, I want to create a new navigation bar called Gadgets. All right? So that's what I'm doing now. So I have a sidebar. I want a new navigation bar, so I hit the plus sign. I want it to be a navigation bar. And then I highlight it. And I click, and now I can change the name. So I can go to Gadgets. And I want to put a page here, and I want to do my Gadget Insert. So here's all my pages. Gadget Insert. I click, hit OK. Now it's right under all that good stuff. And if I close, you can see now I have a sidebar that's Gadgets, and then I have one page under my sidebar, which is Gadget Inserts. All right, so now this web page. So now if I go off this web page, I can always get back. Okay, so once I start a page, I like to save it before I actually edit the page. So this is going to be our page where we learn how to, or we actually insert our gadgets. So I want to edit this page now. So remember, here's the sidebar, actual websites. So Google, remember, is set up kind of always the same. You kind of have toolbars at the top. You have a sidebar for navigation, and then this inside part's the web page. So I want to edit the web page. So I go to the pen. Now you see I have a lot of options now. I have a lot of toolbars and menus. And we're going to go over all these inserts. So we talked about a few of these, how to insert an image, a link, and then the table of contents, all that good stuff. The first thing we're going to do is, let's do the subpage listing. So think of this as, it's a way to actually put a sidebar menu in your web page. Right? But the only weird thing is your pages have to be embedded, which is kind of a strange thing. So I'll show you what I mean by that. First, I can actually title this. So I'm going to do announcements, and I'll show you why. Right? So I'm going to call this, little insert announcements. I'm going to choose my own page, so I can do the current page, which I need embedded pages. So I'm going to go to choose a page, and so now see how announcements has a plus? These things are below it. They're embedded in the announcements. So when we say different levels, these are the second level. So announcements are the first level, and then we have post 1, post 2 in the second. All right, so if I click announcements from my page, and then I hit save, you'll notice I don't see anything, and I'm not going to on most inserts until I hit save and close out of the page. And then you'll see it pops up. It only shows me the levels. Right, so that's the subpage part. So you can see it's just like the side navigation bar, but now I have kind of navigation in a page. I'm going to actually show you how this could work with pages themselves and not announcements. So what I want to do is embed some pages within each other. So I need to go to Manage Site, And anytime I want to do anything with pages, I go to Manage Site. So remember, there are two menu items we really care about: Manage Site and Edit Site Layout. So when I go to Pages, you can see announcements now. Here are all my pages. And announcements are the only ones that have a second level. So let's say I want to put, I don't know, my list underneath Cabinet. So I can grab my list page, I move it up to Cabinet, moving. It's nice when it lets you know what it's doing. So it's just saying it's moving here. And now you can see list is actually embedded in Cabinet. So my file cabinet actually has another page embedded in it. So if I go back to my site, I want my gadget inserts page. I'm going to edit my page here. I'm going to insert a subpage listing. This time, instead of announcements, I'm going to pick the file cabinet. And then you can see, again, I don't see anything until I hit save. And then you can see it right there. So I didn't change the name, subpage listing. You can see that's the web page. So if you wanted to embed pages inside pages, that's how you would do it. And that's how you would actually move pages to a second level or have a embedded in other pages. So not a big deal. Well, on the challenge, I don't even have you do this as part of the challenge, but okay. And so since that's kind of takes up some space, and I don't know that I really recommend it, it's kind of advanced. Let's get rid of them. So if I want to get rid of them, right, I click until I get all my options. And on any of these inserts, I'll always have options. I have properties, so settings. I can align them, all right, or I can wrap them in text. Keep the wrapping in the text on or off, and then my X, I can delete it. All right, so let's delete those. Okay, so that was subpages. All right, next, let's do the +1 button. So just like our sidebar menu, this is a way for people just to show that they like your site. So once I get here, so if I hit save, people can, if they like your site a lot, they just click the +1 button, and then they're actually able to write a comment, right? Or I like this site. Right? And then they can share the comment. And then the next person that comes and hits the button, I'll get a count of 2 and 3. It's just a like my site button. Let's edit our page again. So now let's go to, let's insert recent posts. So now this is a nice little button. So if you've ever seen web pages where on their home page they always have up-to-date kind of news and all that stuff. They have up-to-date posts on maybe the school. So when we go to Wesleyan, you'll see they'll have news events, they'll have all that stuff. Well, someone doesn't go to the home page and do that. They go to their announcement page and they write, they post announcements. And then this cool gadget now will automatically take those announcements and post them wherever you put this gadget. So you don't have to keep posting things in different places. You post it one time on your announcement page and then it'll update everything. All right, so I have to let it know where I want to grab my announcements. I only have one announcement page, so if I had a bunch of announcement pages, I could select the one I want. Post length we could do, so short, medium, full, and then all this good stuff. Total number of posts, right? I'm not going to do more than 5 here, but you can change the number. So now you'll see when I hit save, once again, notice I don't see anything, right? I have to hit save for it to actually kind of fill itself in. And then you'll see my recent posts or post 1, post 2. So now let's show you what this looks like. So if I go to my announcements and I post another one, so I'm on my announcement page now. Okay, so let's post a third announcement. And another post. And now let's save it. Okay, you'll see now on my announcement page I have 3 posts. If I go to my gadget page, my post is right here. So that's how they're connected. So this is how you get things on different pages where you kind of have real-time, I don't know, news events or postings or stuff like that. Okay, so we'll insert again. Let's edit our page. And you can see I have recent files. So if I link this to my file cabinet, when I put in new files, they'll automatically go to wherever I put this gadget in. Or if I put them in my list item, so our class, our homework assignment, whether it was complete or not, same thing. So these 3 are the exact same, they're just off of different pages. So the posts go to the announcement pages, the files go to the file cabinet pages, and then the recent lists link to the list pages. Okay, and so when I say that, this is what I'm talking about. I can either make an announcement page, a file cabinet page, or a list page. All right, and that's what those will connect to. So those are the kind of the nice little insert gadgets where you can keep things real time or up to date without having to change each page every single time. So link them to one page and then get the current posts and stuff. Let's go back to edit. Let's do inserts. Or our next one, we could do a text box, which is just like any text box if you used Microsoft Word or anything. So if you want to look at more gadgets, so when you do actually the second homework assignment, I'm going to want you to find a gadget, and this is where you would go. All right, so you want more gadgets. So here are a lot of gadgets, and you'll see I'm on featured. So these are only the ones they want to feature. If I hit public, then I have a ton more. You'll see I have a lot more gadgets. All right, but that's where you'll go to look for gadgets. All right, so that's the more. Okay, we're going to go here, Apple Script. We're not going to talk about this, but this is actually where if you're a computer coder, programmer, you can write your program and put it here. And then this will actually change it, it'll convert it into something that Google Sites likes. So this is how we can do our add-ons. When we talk about add-ons later in the class, this is how people write them. Let's put in a calendar though. So let's do our calendar. Okay, I have choices on which calendars I want. So right now I'm just linked to my NWU account, so I'm going to put in my NWU calendar. So I'll hit select. All right, and I have all these options. I can change the height of the calendar, the width. You'll see the calendar is very large. So if you want to change the height and the width, then there you go. If you want to change how you view it, week, month, you can do time zones, and then you can click all these. Right, so you can read all this stuff. All right, so the big deal here, and again, realize or remember, when I insert a gadget, I don't see anything until I save my page. And then here you can see what I'm talking about. This is a very large calendar. Right? If I want to change it, right, and I'll show you how to put items on here. But if I want to change it, I go to Edit, and then I click on it, and you can see I have my options up here now. So all my gadgets, I always have these options. So I'd go to the Properties, and then you'll see I have that same menu bar. So let's do, I don't know what this will look like. Let's do height of 300 and width. I don't know. Let's see what width of 300 looks like. And then remember, I have to save to see what's going on. And then I get a little bitty calendar. All right, so that's how we can insert calendars. Now let's go to how we could actually update our calendar. So what I'm going to need to do is I need the app launcher, those 3x3 squares, and those aren't on my website. So I'll go to my drive, and you can see here are my 3x3, and I'm actually hooked to my drive, and that's going to be a nice little tip that you should write down somewhere. If I want to link outside stuff, my NWU account, I want to do it through my drive, which means I'll go to my drive and make sure that I'm logged in as me, and then anything I choose as an app launcher will automatically link to whatever my drive account was. So now you'll see I have a calendar. So now I'll click calendar, and then it's just like if you've ever used any Outlook calendar or anything like that. It's the same old, same old. If I want to put an event in, I just click. So if you click once, you just get a simple input menu box. So I can type in my event here, and then here it already has my times and my place. So if this is too simplistic, then you go to Edit Event. And here's where I have all my options. So let's say I'm going to do class. Right? So here's our summer school class. It's today. I want to go from 9 to 11. Not all day, but maybe let's repeat. So since this is a summer school class, let's repeat it every Tuesday and Thursday. And we'll repeat it for 5 weeks. Okay, and you can see there's a lot of options here. So I can do weekly, monthly, yearly, every blah, blah, blah. I could do daily. I can select when I repeat. I can select when it starts and when it ends. All right. Oops. My repeat every 5 weeks would do it every 5 weeks. I want to repeat every week, but then I wanted to end it. So let's end it after, since it's 5 weeks, 2 times a week, let's end it after 10 occurrences. Okay, and then when I'm done, you can go through and read all this stuff too, where, which calendar it is, description. I can change the colors. I can add attachments. Right? I can do all that nice stuff. So once I do all that, I hit save, and then you can see that's my calendar event. Okay, and then if I go back to my website though, so you can see, and I just refreshed because I just changed it. You can see now I have 2 events where I only had 1. And this is a nice little, I don't know, kind of not a happy accident that calendar is way too small. It's up to you on the size, but this one's a little too small. Okay, but that's how you would insert a calendar and how you would edit a calendar. Okay, you get reminders, repeating, all that good stuff. Okay, let's go back to edit. Let's go to insert, and now let's do a chart. So I'm not going to actually insert a chart, I'm just going to tell you about it. So if we actually insert a chart, you're going to need to link this to a Google Sheet. And we're not going to talk about Google Sheets till later in this class. But the idea here is once you do have a Google Sheet and start making charts, if I link it to that sheet, when I change the sheet, it automatically changes the chart in my website. So it's a nice link. It's kind of like the announcement page thing, where if I change one place, it actually shows up in other places. And I'll come back to this when we do our sheets, our Google Sheets, okay? But just make a mental note that that exists. Let me get some space here. I can also insert stuff from my Google Drive. So I can insert it right from my Google Drive. So I'm going to insert a document from my Google Drive. And you may ask, why do this? So let's do the website. How about the challenge? All right. If I hit select, so why do this? Then I have options here. You can click. I can, height and width, and you'll see why there's going to be a height and width, because it's not going to put a link. And always remember, I'm not going to see anything until I hit save. It doesn't put the link. It actually puts the entire document. So this is where, if you ever see documents embedded in websites, this is how they do it. Okay, so this isn't a link to the document. It's an actual document that's on my website that people can just go and peruse through. So that's the difference. I'm not inserting a link. So remember last time we talked, we did embedded links, where I actually highlight this and then I hit link, and then I can put in my web address. That's different. So I'm not embedding a link when I do this insert from my Google Drive. I'm actually doing the entire document, which is nice. Okay, our last one I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about two things actually. One more I'm going to talk about is the group. So I'm not going to discuss this in full, but I will say that the Google group is Google's answer to online forums and discussion groups. Right? So if you wanted to, you have to set up a group, and I'll show you how to do that. But if I wanted to insert a group, you'll see it needs the URL, so you're going to be given a kind of a dedicated space through Google. Okay, but the take home here is the Google groups. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back to, I'll show you how to do groups. Are Google's answer to online discussion forums. That's all it is. So I'm going to go back to my drive. Okay, so here we'd actually have a group button. Right, so it's actually an app. It's a it's a Google app. So I'm going to hit configure because I need to get that button, or I'd like that button. Okay, and so remember I did the configure app launcher, so I added an add-on here, so that's why mine might look a little different. So if I just type group, there you go, and I'll add it to my app launcher. I'll close out, and now you'll see if I go back to my app launcher. Remember, if something doesn't show up right away, you just refresh. Cross your fingers. All right, so then I have groups. Okay, and then here's my group app. So what I could do is create a whole new group. If you do that, you're going to have a group name, which will give you a group website. You'll have a description, right? You can change the name and all that stuff. You can have email lists, but you're going to set up a dedicated space on Google Server to house your discussion forum, and that's the deal. Okay, and you can have you can invite people through their emails. Once people find your group, they can actually click a button that says, I want to be a part of this group, and they'll send you a request, and you either approve them or you don't. So you being the owner of the group, you're able to just decide who's in the group and who isn't, and then you can lead the discussions, all that stuff. Okay, I've actually never used the group thing, but that's the idea. It's the online forum part. All right, and if we have any questions, actually, if you want to learn more, just email me, and maybe we'll set up a mini little lesson on groups. Okay, so that's groups. All right, and then the last thing, so let's go back to the website. I'm going to insert, just like I did a Drive document where it actually literally put the drive up, or the document up. I can also do that through YouTube. All right, so if I put in a YouTube video, I'll show you, we'll go get a URL of a YouTube video. But that's the idea here, is it's going to be just like this document. It's going to put the YouTube video right on your web page. So let's do that. So let's go to my website, and I've put up the videos for Tuesday. So here's the video for syllabus on my website, right? And it actually is a YouTube video. So what I'll do is cut and paste this URL. Hopefully I'll remember to say this when we actually do YouTube videos, but if you create a video and you put it on YouTube, it will not take up space in your Google Drive. So that's a nice plug for upload things to YouTube, because you can connect to them right away. You can do playlists and stuff, but they don't take up your storage space on your drive. So I just copied the URL. So now when I insert my YouTube, I'll just paste my URL. You can see it gives me a nice little kind of preview window. I can do my size. I can include borders, so I have some options. And you'll see, I don't see anything yet. I have to hit save. And just like my document now, you'll see I actually have the video right here. So I don't have to go to YouTube, I can just click and start playing the video. All right, just like I was on YouTube. Those are all the gadgets I wanted to talk about. So now your charge, your challenge is this. Okay, so one part of your homework is to create a new web page named Gadget Inserts. I want you to include a +1 button. I want you to click it one time, add one comment, anything you want. I want you to include a recent post. Okay, so now be careful though, if you don't have an announcement page, you have to make one. So you need to connect your post to an announcement page. So if your website doesn't have an announcement page yet, you need to create one and put some posts in. So specifically, I want to see this is my first announcement. So that's the post I want to see on the recent post gadget. I want you to do a calendar. I want you to link it to your NWU Gmail account, the one we made last class. I want you to add one event. Make it a lunch event. Put it for 5:24, 1:30 to 3:30. Then I want you to repeat it every week. And I want you to notify yourself 45 minutes before the event begins. All right, so there's a nice little button to let you remind yourself what's going on. Okay, then I want you to insert a Drive document, and I want you to actually insert the Drive Insert Challenge. So if you go to my website, here's inserting gadgets. So the assignment file right here, I want you to insert this Drive Document Insert Challenge. Okay, so you're going to have to download this from my website, put it into your Drive, and then link it from there. And then the last thing I want you to do is put in a YouTube. So you're going to do the syllabus from my website, so you're going to do exactly the same thing I just did. Right, click on my website, go to the very first day where syllabus and my website video, go to YouTube, cut and paste just copy the URL address and put it into your website. All right, and then sharing, so remember how you turn everything in is through your websites. I want you to create a new navigation bar called Gadgets. I want you to link your new page, your gadget insert page, to that bar. And that's your first Insert Gadget Challenge. So this particular topic has a few assignments. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, so that's assignment 1. So assignment 2 is to actually research a gadget. So what I want you to do is, first of all, you need to go to my website and you need to sign up for whatever gadget you want to do. Okay, and I want it to be something educational. So just as an example, there's a nice gadget that shows fish floating around on your screen. That's fantastic, but that's not really useful in an educational setting. I mean, it's nice to see fish, but that's not going to help students learn. So now the sign up part, if you go to my website, so you'll see under assignment files, here's the gadget tool sign up sheet. So what I need you to do is go look for a gadget. So remember, well, I'll show you how to do that again. But here are your names. I just want you to actually type in what gadget you have. All right, so once you actually identify your gadget, come to the sign up sheet and fill in the sheet. I want you to note on the sign up sheet, no gadgets can be used twice. So only one gadget per student. So first come, first serve. Once you figure out what you want to do, list it on the sign-up sheet. Okay, so I need you to go find a gadget. I need you to investigate how it works and then report back. I'll go through the rest of this. Let me go back to, just in case we missed it, how to find more gadgets. Right? So if I edit a page, if I insert right here. So remember, we go to more gadgets. And then be careful, featured only has a few, but if I pick public, then I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. Okay, so that's how we go investigate. Okay, so once you do that, I want you to create a new web page. I want it to be named Gadget Research. All right, so you're going to have 2 web pages now. You have Gadget Inserts, and now we have a new one, Gadget Research. I want you to include a picture of your gadget. So if you're using a Mac, you can just do Command-Shift-4. If I do Command-Shift-4, you can see I have this cursor, and if I click and drag, I do a screenshot. So if you have a PC, it's a little bit more complicated. Then you'll have to go just search screenshot for a PC and see what it is. And then on your website, so you're going to have a picture. You're going to include a description of the gadget, so the purpose of the gadget, what it does. You want to tell people how to download it, and you want to tell people how to use the gadget. All right, so as you describe this stuff, I want screenshots as well. Okay, include how your gadget can be useful in the classroom. So below this, so you're going to have a picture, you're going to have descriptions with screenshots, and then lastly, I want you to tell me how this is useful in education. Right, so I want you to tell me how either a teacher or a student will use the gadget or tool, and then I also want you to tell me why that's useful in the classroom. So if you do the floating fish, it's easy for a teacher or student to use that, but I don't see its use in a classroom. And then once you're done with that, you need to include the link to your new page, right? So your new gadget research page on the sidebar named Gadgets. All right, so that's assignment 2. And then assignment 3, right here, I want you to go to review someone's website. Okay, so below I have a list of your names and your assigned website. So I want you to go to their website and I want you to answer these questions, right? So how can you download the gadget? So now you're looking at their website. So they should have told you how to download it. So I want to know from their website how to download their gadget, what the purpose of their gadget is. Think about how the actual information is organized on their web page. Right? Was it easy to learn about the gadget? One thing you liked about the page and one thing you didn't. Right? So we're kind of gearing up to recognize good pages and bad pages. Right? And then to submit this, I want you just to use a Word document or anything that's equivalent. So you'll type your answers in a Word document, you're going to upload that document to your drive, and then you're going to link that document to your sidebar. And when I say that, I don't want a new page. So when you click, you'll notice if I click these, I get a whole new page. I don't want that. I want you to actually link the document to the sidebar, not a page. Right? And just a little review. How do we do that? Let's get a document. I go to the document. I get the link. I copy the link. And then I edit my site layout. Edit site layout's all about the bar on the left side. And wherever I want to go, so I wanted to put it under my gadget, so I'll highlight to my gadget navigation bar. And then I'm not going to add a page, I'm going to add a URL. So I click URL. My text, I'll just call this peer review. And then I'm going to copy my Word document. Open in a new window, hit OK, close. And then you can see now peer review doesn't take me to a page, it takes me to a document. Right? So that's how I link documents and not pages. But that's it. So those are the 3 assignments, and that's the lesson on inserting gadgets.